It's September 17th today, and today I'm out in the garden. We've had a really good heat-loving summer, and now I'm sort of going out as the winter squash is starting to die back. I'm starting to pick some. Today we've got, this is called Canada crookneck. It's a heirloom. I think it's one of the parents of the well-known butternut squash. So all your butternut squash is sort of derived from something like this. It's quite phallic looking. It varies a little bit in its, but it's always sort of has a crooked neck. And the reason that they stopped using that variety is that they were harder to store for transport because of the curvature of the neck. So they went with a more straight neck variety, which makes sense. But this year I've never had this. I've grown this squash a few times before, but I've never had the amount of fruit set as I have this year. I'll show you that in just a second. Well, okay, here's our yield of Canada crookneck squash. Just a little bit of background about this variety of squash. It's fairly resistant to all pests and diseases. I don't have any problems with squash vine borer, although I suspect some of the fruits may have been infected. There's some sort of bug in these ones. Something ended up in here, and another one ended up in here. But apart from that, there's no damage on any of the squash. We had a couple of split necks, but all in total, it looks like we produced around 70 squash. And I did a quick weight of 6 randomly picked squash, which weighed, I think, 27.4 pounds. All in all, it ends up probably being around, I'm going to guesstimate about 300 pounds of squash was produced from 9 plants. I still have about 10 more squash out there that are still green. And what else can I say about this? Now the question is, can I eat this much squash? And I don't think we will eat this much squash, but we will attempt to eat as much squash as we can. Luckily, this variety is among the best squash that I've ever eaten. It's better than your typical butternut squash, although it's very similar. I find that the flesh seems to be denser. I like the fact that this whole neck is just pure meaty squash, and you have a compact seed at the bottom, similar to a butternut squash. So it's very similar, but the flavor seems to be just a tad bit richer. If you let these age until about Christmas time, they really, I think they peak in their flavor around Christmas. The flesh becomes extremely orange, and it's really good roasted. I like to roast it with salt, garlic, and rosemary and olive oil in the oven. I've also seen people roast these whole and then just like cut them up into slices. I think I might try doing that. And it also makes really excellent pumpkin pie. So we might be trying some of that, maybe some pumpkin muffins. And another easy meal for these guys is butternut squash soup, although I can kind of get sick of eating that over and over again. But lots of options with this crop. Now we just have to find ways to cook it and possibly give some away to friends and family. Well, there you have it. Thanks for watching this video. Keep on growing, everybody.